This is Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis.
Yeah, let's go again. It's a special pregame edition as we get rolling into day number 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and looking forward to it here live on the Tampa Bay Lightning Power Play Network, streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com, all powered by Primetime Radio. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a busy hour straight ahead. We'll get you all set up for the Tampa Bay Lightning, New Jersey Devils, game number 1 that is set to go at Amalie Arena a little bit later on this evening. I want to touch on some of the games that took place on the first night, Wednesday, of the Stanley Cup playoffs, because there was a lot of interesting things that happened in a number of different games, and there's one in particular I could actually see a similar scenario playing out in game number 1 with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New Jersey Devils. I won't tell you which one yet, but I think that you might like the one that it is. There's a lot of stuff to get into. There's a lot of stories going on in the NHL. In addition to the Lightning and the New Jersey Devils, the 4 other series get going on Thursday night as well. Everybody will be underway by the time play is finished on Thursday. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports are the Twitter handles and Instagram handles to follow us. We hope you're having a good Thursday. How could it not be a good day? How could it not be a good day? Because the Stanley Cup playoffs are rolling. It's day number 2. Everybody will be in action. There's plenty of curiosity and storylines surrounding each of the best of 7 contests that's going on right now. 4 in the East, 4 in the West. There's a lot of intrigue and a lot of curiosity that I want to get into. A lot of the focus, as I mentioned, will be on the Lightning and the Devils series. Opening face-off will take place shortly after 7:30 p.m. at Amalie Arena. The place will be rocking. It always is for the Lightning, whether it's a home game, whether it's a preseason game, but in the playoffs, it's a whole other thing. The mind games kind of started already too. In fact, it's not devious. It's a little mischievous, but it's a little bit of fun as well that started already. As the New Jersey Devils arrived at TPA for their time in Florida for the first couple of games of this series. Well, of course, as the stairway is rolled up to the Devils plane and everybody's set to disembark and make their way down to the tarmac, there's Lightning banners affixed to this portable stairway. That's fun. I don't know who came up with that idea, but good for you. That's fun. And all the Devils are coming out of the plane. Great. Hey, it's sunshine. It's Florida. It's good. Oh, there's Tampa Bay Lightning banners there. That's awesome stuff. I love to see this kind of stuff. It's not outrageous. It's not mean-spirited. It's fun. We're going to hear so much about this. Oh, this is the playoffs. There's take no prisoners. This is war. Everyone will be giving a part of themselves in every game and every series. You hear all kinds of that stuff that goes on as the playoffs do, no matter what the series is. And you know what? Out on the ice, it is true. The way players prepare themselves and the difficulties that they go through just to play in some cases, but giving everything that they have to participate, to play as well as they possibly can, and to get victory. Good for them. It's fantastic. They want to win. They will do anything and everything that they can to win. But this kind of poking the opposing fan sort of stuff, because, it lights up social media. As soon as something like this happens, it's on social media and teams are tweeting about it. And then media organizations and outlets are tweeting about it. It's good. It's good for the game. It's fun. You have a sense of humor. I think it's just as important for this kind of fun and engaging ways to create new fans and help grow the game. I mean, if there's someone who is just a casual sports fan, not particularly a hockey fan, but they see or read or hear something like this on social media in particular, it's like, hey, you know what? That's pretty fun. That's someone with a good sense of humor and saying, hey, welcome to Florida. We're here to beat you for a couple of games, just so you know, as soon as you get off the plane. I think that's good. I think it helps build a really positive atmosphere in the building. There's going to be a whole bunch of Devils fans, I would expect, that try to get into the game. Some might be successful. Others may not be successful, but it's a rivalry the way it should be treated between fans. Sure, you're competitive. You want your team to beat the opposition. You want your team to come out victorious, whether it's in the game or in the series overall. but you have the right perspective about it. I love that. I think that was a great way to start. This is an interesting matchup between the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Atlantic Division and Eastern Conference winning Tampa Bay Lightning, and the New Jersey Devils. It's intriguing to me for a whole bunch of reasons. There are legit MVP candidates on both teams. You can't say that about every series that's going on. For the New Jersey Devils, Taylor Hall carried his team into the postseason. 39 goals, 54 assists, 93 points. That's 41 better than second place on the Devils statistics. And that's Nico Hischier. Oh, yeah, by the way, he's a kid. He's just playing his first year in the NHL. For Tampa, there was the discussion back and forth all season long. Is it going to be Nikita Kucherov? Is it going to be Steven Stamkos? Kucherov comes up with a 100-point season, 39 goals, 61 assists. Stamkos misses a couple of games because of injury. His numbers aren't quite as significant, 27 goals, 59 assists, but still, the captain, the leader, the inspiration, the motivator for a lot of what occurs with the Tampa Bay Lightning. These two and others producing all season long, they help lead the Lightning to the top of the division, home ice advantage through at least the Eastern Conference final. All of them legit MVP candidates. We'll see how the voting shakes out when the NHL hands out the awards in Las Vegas later on in June. I promise I'm not going to have too much math. There's a few statistics that I wanted to include and should include when you're talking about things like that, but I promise there's not going to be too much math on this program or the others coming up as the playoffs move on. Goaltending is an important story for both teams. Andrei Vasilevsky, his first season as the number one guy for the Lightning, he is nothing short of marvelous. He's a candidate for an award as well. Andrei Vasilevsky appeared in 65 games for the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of games, but he is a workhorse type goaltender. Even though he said he was feeling a little tired at different points through the season, the record he produced, 44, 17, and 3, outstanding. 2.62 goals against average, sensational. 920 save percentage, right up there with the league leaders. How do you ask for more than that from a first-year full-time starter being the guy for what is expected to be a cup contending team? For New Jersey, the goaltending issue is even more intriguing because everybody starts at the beginning of the season. It's Corey Schneider. He's proved that he can be a dominant goaltender and carry a team and perform on an exceptional basis for the entire 6 months of the NHL regular season. Last year was kind of tough, but he'll bounce back. Everything will be fine. However, maybe not. Schneider struggles. He has injuries. It winds up being Keith Kincaid. And John Hines has confirmed it will be Keith Kincaid in the starter's net for the New Jersey Devils on Thursday night, making his first NHL Stanley Cup playoff start. A nice record for Keith Kincaid. 26, 10, and 3. That's good. That's a nice record for what was supposed to be a backup goaltending season. 2.77 goals against average, a 913 save percentage. Also quite good. Not quite the numbers and status of an Andrei Vasilevsky, but good. As you continue to go through the lineup, give the big edge to the Tampa Bay Lightning in terms of superior talent with defense, including more potential award winners. Norris Trophy candidate Victor Hedman leading the way for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and also a strong supporting cast that got even stronger as this season went along. Deadline acquisition Ryan McDonagh got healthy, got into the lineup, proved to be a positive addition. Oh, and there's Anton Stralman. Oh, and there's Dan Girardi. And there's Braden Coburn. Oh, there's that rookie sensation, Mikhail Sergachev. That's pretty substantial. From New Jersey, the talent pool on defense isn't nearly as deep as it is for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Will Butcher, Sami Vatanen, even Andy Green. Okay, good defensemen, not the elite talent level that is on the Tampa Bay Lightning roster. Damon Severson, John Moore kind of fill it out. That's just not the same as the Tampa Bay Lightning blue liners. If you're measuring talent, player for player, then yeah, not so much. Not so much. If you're measuring talent, statistics, again, I said there wouldn't be too much math. Check mark goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And in fact, if you go down through just about every category, the check mark goes into the column of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They lead in all the important categories. Goals scored, Tampa Bay Lightning. Goals allowed, fewer by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Power play success, Tampa Bay Lightning. The Devils, however, lead in penalty kill, which I find really interesting, and I'm interested to see how it's going to stack up beginning in game number 1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Puck drop shortly after 7 p.m. I think I said 7:30 earlier. Shortly after 7 p.m. How is the New Jersey Devils penalty kill going to match up against the Tampa Bay Lightning? So many weapons, whether you're talking Stamkos, whether you're talking Kucherov, whether you're talking Braden Point, whether you're talking Victor Hedman with the bombs from defense. How is the New Jersey Devils team defense going to work against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who can come at you from so many different ways? And when you look at the season series between the two teams, this is perhaps the most curious of all statistics. Devils win 3. Devils win the 3 games. With all the advantages, goals scored, power play, personnel, statistically better. You look at the season stats in terms of the series between the two teams and you go, what do you mean New Jersey won them all? What do you mean New Jersey won all 3 games between these two teams? 2 of the games were high-scoring games. The other, not so much. October, it's a 5-4 shootout win. In February, it's a 4-3 victory, and then it's a real tight 2-1 game that ends in regulation with the New Jersey Devils on top. Good goaltending was the key. Mentioned Vasilevsky and how well he's performed, but this is the illustration that Keith Kincaid will also and is going to need to also provide good goaltending for the New Jersey Devils if they're going to have any kind of success against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Good goaltending will be key. This isn't being biased, but this is a very winnable series for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I believe when I did predictions yesterday, if you caught them on our Hockey Unfiltered Little Saturday podcast, which we do on Wednesday afternoons, I think I had the Lightning winning it in 6 games, I believe was the prediction I put down. Devils have a good home record, so that kind of impacted the reason why I had the Lightning winning it in 6 games. Tampa's also got a very good home record. This series could go even quicker. It could go even quicker in terms of the Tampa Bay Lightning winning it. They have way more offensive threats than the New Jersey Devils. Being able to not only roll over the boards, Steven Stamkos and Nikita Kucherov, but also having additional scoring of a substantial nature from Braden Point, from Yanni Gourde, from Tyler Johnson, and others who are capable of producing offense in a significant way, significant firepower, a better power play. All this adds up to a Tampa Bay Lightning victory. Could add up to a quick Tampa Bay Lightning victory. If New Jersey gets into any sort of penalty trouble, look out. Whether you've got a good power or penalty kill for a potent power play is one thing, but if you're going to get yourself in penalty trouble, even with a good penalty kill, sooner or later, the weapons work. And the Tampa Bay Lightning offer an awful lot of weapons in a lot of different ways. Big shot from the point, crowding the crease out in front, fancy tic-tac-toe passing plays from one side of the ice to the other with a tap-in behind a goaltender who finds himself swimming because he's uncontrollably trying to follow the puck back and forth. They can score all these ways and many others. There's a couple of areas that you might want to worry about, that you might be a little concerned about for Tampa Bay Lightning fans. No need to freak. No need to freak, but there's a couple of areas that you might be concerned about. Frustration would be one of them. If there's lots of great chances, if there's lots of opportunities, but they're not going in, whether it's off a post, just going wide, goaltender makes a great save, there's the chance you might get a little frustrated. That's understandable. If for some reason there's a mental mistake and you wind up down quickly against a team that can be good defensively, that can be difficult. And here's another statistic. I said I don't want to get into too many, but here's one I'm going to give you. Don't freak out about this, because there's no need to freak out, but it should give you a bit of something to think about. And then even if it does happen, there's no need to fret too much about it or lose any sleep about it. Tampa Bay Lightning are 2-7 all-time in playoff openers. That's not a great record. So, yes, be concerned if you lose the opening game, but don't lose any sleep over it, especially with a team with this much talent and this much opportunity. There's a few other things I want to get into about this game with the New Jersey Devils. Game number 1, Tampa Bay Lightning, New Jersey Devils. Puck drop shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern time. There's 4 other series that get going on Thursday evening as well. I want to touch on those series. There's some interesting lineup choices that have been made by other teams, and also from games on the opening night of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Wow, interesting. I haven't given you the game yet in terms of the possibility I see a parallel with Tampa and New Jersey from opening night as well. I'll do that coming up shortly. Lots to get into, lots to cover in the remaining minutes in our hour as we continue to get you set for the Tampa Bay Lightning on the Tampa Bay Lightning Power Play Network, at Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, our Twitter and Instagram handles. Back with much more on the Lightning, the Devils, and the other playoff series set to go right after this break.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with SeatGiant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now it's even easier to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Send us a photo on Twitter or now on Instagram with the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We choose a winner every Saturday. That's simple. Now on Instagram or Twitter, send us the photo using the hashtag HU Dog of the Day, and your dog could be the one added to our gallery on the website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Cutting-edge design for manufacturing, Nova Product Design. Industrial design, mechanical engineering and design. Nova Product Design provides experienced design for parts and assemblies, manufacturing, assembly, and serviceability. From plastic parts to sheet metal forming, mold and tool design, injection molding, and more. Nova Product Design. Visit novaproductdesign.com to learn more. So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. No problem. All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff. The Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes.
Hockey, a special pre-game edition of
Filtered with
Todd Lewis here every Saturday and Sunday at our regular times. We are live at hockeyunfiltered.com. 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and streaming live on the Hockey Unfiltered app, powered by Primetime Radio, at Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles to follow us. We're excited because it's day number 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, all the remaining series, the 5 of them getting going. Looking forward to the Tampa Bay Lightning hosting game number 1 with the New Jersey Devils. Puck drop shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern time. It will be a loud, noisy, and fun crowd inside of Amalie Arena, and we're looking forward to it. I want to touch on the other series that begin Thursday night as well. I want to look back on a couple of things from Wednesday night's games as well. I mentioned that there is one game that I saw on Wednesday night. I could see the Tampa, New Jersey game number 1 being a bit of a mirror of that game. There's a couple of areas of concern I mentioned as well. The Tampa Bay Lightning, that these are the things that Lightning fans will think about and wonder about, and I've thought about them and wondered about them as well. New Jersey is a fast and aggressive team. They are big on the forecheck. They like to get in, be disruptive, create turnovers, create turmoil in your own end, and from that, they manage to generate all kinds of offensive opportunities. It has been a recipe for them that has worked through an 82-game regular season. Be fast, be quick, be aggressive, get on defensemen who are trying to move pucks, get on goaltenders who are trying to move pucks to defensemen, and even on forwards that are coming back to help out in their own end. They are aggressive. They try to create havoc in the opposing team's end, generate turnovers, and capitalize them. We've seen this happen throughout the regular season with the New Jersey Devils. This has got to be their recipe again as we go into game number 1 and this series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. If the New Jersey Devils are aggressive, they create turnovers, if they cause the Tampa Bay Lightning difficulty exiting their own end of the ice, that can be a problem. Whether it's Tampa or any other team, if you've got opponents in on you, on top of you, anytime you touch the puck or get close to the puck, they've got a stick on it, they've got a body on you, that can be trouble. That can create difficulty for the opposition. The other area, and I'm not sure if anyone has thought much about this, kind of touched on it. The other area is if the Tampa Bay Lightning get frustrated. With the aggression of the New Jersey Devils, big forecheck, heavy forecheck, not in a physical heavy forecheck, but aggressive, their speed. Trying to move a puck from one teammate to another, getting in the midst of it, disrupting it. If they can clog things up, if they can mess things up in their opponent's end, if they don't allow the Lightning an opportunity to exit their zone, start to move up the ice, create chances and opportunities off the rush, if the Lightning can't get moving towards the other end to create opportunities to use their offensive skills, or if the goaltending is keeping the puck out of the net. If Keith Kincaid plays as well as he has on a number of different occasions through this season, that can cause frustration. If Tampa gets frustrated, that could be difficult too. If you're getting great chances, but the puck's not going in, we see it sometimes, and it becomes a bigger concern in a playoff series. Because you've only got a certain amount of time to be successful. It's the first team to 4 that's going to move on to round number 2. You got to get 4 wins before the other team does. If you get there first, you move on. If you get frustrated, you can start doing things that aren't in your nature and aren't in a part of your game plan. That's one small area to pay attention to and one small area of concern as I see it for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I am not overly worried about the Tampa Bay Lightning record as they were coming down the stretch of the regular season. Some are a little bit more worried about it than I am. They didn't light it up with the same regularity, the same win frequency that we saw early on in the season. They were absolutely dominating on so many nights. They were absolutely revved up and ready to go throughout the first half of the season, especially. They just overwhelmed teams with their offensive skill and talent and ability. Once you get a big lead, sure, Boston started pushing them for a little bit in the latter part of the season, but once you've basically assured yourself of a postseason spot, once you have pretty much locked yourself in, you've built a nice cushion, it's inevitable that you're going to ease off the throttle just a little bit. Steven Stamkos wasn't himself the last little bit of the season. He's pronounced himself healthy. He will be in the starting lineup. We'll get more on the starting lineups before the hour is out. But no, I'm not concerned about the Tampa Bay Lightning being able to have the intensity, have the focus that's necessary to be successful in the postseason and starting from puck drop on game number 1. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not worried about that. I could see game number 1 of the Lightning and Devils playing out similarly to one of the games that took place on Wednesday. And that game would be the Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I could see Tampa rolling over New Jersey the same way that Pittsburgh rolled over Philadelphia. Not saying it will happen, not making a guarantee. I'm just saying I could see this kind of scenario playing out for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And oh, wouldn't that be nice for Tampa Bay Lightning fans to open up with such a big victory? Look at the numbers and stats I mentioned earlier. They have a much more talented and skilled lineup. Bigger numbers, more goals, more success. Taylor Hall has had a phenomenal year. The drop-off from first in scoring for the New Jersey Devils to second is enormous. You go off a cliff before you get to second. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, you got a lot of weapons on a lot of different lines that can score in a lot of different ways. And I'm giving them the goaltending matchup. And I give them the defensive matchup. More talent, more skill, more ability. I'm not saying it will, but it could. Because if the Tampa Bay Lightning get rolling, if you get a goal, if you get New Jersey back on their heels with some aggressive forechecking and speed, which the Lightning have, yeah, you can see it playing out that way. Both New Jersey and Philly got into the postseason right near the end of the year, and there is a natural tendency that you're subconsciously going to exhale and relax just a little bit once you cross that finish line. This is something that we've worked for, something that not a lot of people expected all season long. We've battled, we've been in good shape. Now we're hanging on, now we're pushing, now we're trying to get in, and you get in. It is a natural human reaction and emotion to go, we made it. And you got to be able to exhale, relax, enjoy, celebrate, but then be ready to go at a high level and high tempo in just a couple of days after that. When it happens right near the end of the regular season, sometimes you can look bad in a playoff series opener. And that is what happened to the Philadelphia Flyers. They looked bad. Oh, sure, they had bad goaltending. They made a lot of mistakes, but they looked bad. And I think that the other part of it is the relax plays into it. I want to take a quick look at some of the games that happened last night and some of the things that took place last night, because I'm a little puzzled. I'm a little fascinated by a lot of it. And we'll start with Philly and Pittsburgh. Real talented team that absolutely had their way with an inferior opponent. Everything the Pens did went right, and just about everything that the Flyers did went wrong. I could see this kind of game, not saying it's going to be a 7-0 score, but I could see this kind of dominating victory by one team over another as possibly occurring in this Tampa, New Jersey game number 1. Everything went right for one team. Philly had trouble managing the puck in their end. They coughed it up on numerous occasions, and many of those occasions, the puck wound up in the back of their net and somebody fishing it out. I said the goaltending by Brian Elliott, absolutely subpar. And now the question becomes, what do the Philadelphia Flyers do moving forward in that series? Goaltending was not good. Now, there were some that suggested last night that Dave Haxtell, he should have pulled him out. Should not have let him come out for the second period and had the Flyers have Peter Mrazek as their goaltender from the start of the second period. It wound up that Brian Elliott got pulled out after the 5th goal. I can see why Dave Haxtell let him in. I may be the only one, but I can see why Dave Haxtell left Brian Elliott in. He's been hurt. He was injured. He had surgery and only just got back in the lineup for the Philadelphia Flyers couple of games of the NHL regular season. Had a shutout in the final game. Wasn't the most taxing game, but did have a shutout. And if you're Dave Haxtell, you've got to coach this team. You've got to coach the team to have confidence in this goaltender. Sure, he was great and one of the reasons that they were able to climb back into the playoff push after losing 10 games earlier on, but you've got to have a team have confidence in him, and you've got to have Brian Elliott have confidence in himself. He hasn't played enough. And I can see Hackstall leaving him in, even if you're going to lose this game 4 or 5-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins, because you're getting Brian Elliott some game action, something that he desperately needs. He needs game action. You're not going to get that kind of tune-up by scrimmaging in practice and having teams take shots on you. I think Dave Hackstall was hoping that the rest of the game would help him get back on track. Didn't work, of course, because 2 more went in. Hackstall got the hook. Peter Mrazek went in. And he's already said that I'm leaning towards Brian Elliott for game number 2 because he's got to have confidence in him. He's got to have Brian Elliott get some confidence before game number 2. And he's got to have his team get some confidence in him. And if you're saying it, that's good. That's a start. Brian Elliott has been their best goaltender all season when he's healthy. You've got to also make sure he is healthy enough and ready to play in game number 2. If he can't, if you look at him in practice today, in pregame skate, and you think, not there, then you've got to make the switch. I know he's been your best goaltender, but if he's not healthy and he's not ready to go, he's not your guy. And the rest of the Philadelphia Flyers roster has to play better too. I mean, it looked like there were other people wearing Flyers uniforms at times. They were shooting out pucks like a Pez dispenser. Pittsburgh was picking up the loose pucks and depositing them in the Philadelphia Flyers net. Evgeny Malkin, he was an absolute beast. Made the nice backhand for the 3rd goal by the Pittsburgh Penguins after he came out of the penalty box, but that's a puck you've got to stop. And there, again, is goaltending. That is a save that's got to be made. Philly needed that save at that point. They're down 2, just been on a power play, weren't successful. They needed that save. To go down 3-0, they were sunk completely at that point, if they weren't already. The dude named Sidney Crosby is making a case for another Conn Smythe. He had a hat trick. One of the goals, he batted in like it was a line shot up the middle in baseball. He's done that a few times in the closing weeks of the regular season. If Philly doesn't shape up, stop turning pucks over. Just play their game. They were anything but relaxed and comfortable from the start of the game against Pittsburgh on Wednesday night. Just play your game. If you don't do that and your goaltending isn't at least improved, that series will be over by the middle of next week. I think I picked Pittsburgh in 5. I'll go back and double check, but yeah, I did. Pittsburgh in 5. But if Philly doesn't improve, that series will be over fast. A couple of other games on Wednesday. Some interesting stories from those. I want to look ahead to the other series that begin on Thursday night. And of course, much more on the Tampa Bay Lightning, New Jersey Devils. Game number 1 set to go. Puck drop shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern time at Amalie Arena. We'll have the projected lineups for both teams coming up before our time is done. Lots more to get to at Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, our Twitter and Instagram handles. The pregame edition of Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis continues right after the break.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now it's even easier to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Send us a photo on Twitter or now on Instagram with the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We choose a winner every Saturday. That's simple. Now on Instagram or Twitter, send us the photo using the hashtag #HUDogOfTheDay, and your dog could be the one added to our gallery on the website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Cutting-edge design for manufacturing. Nova Product Design. Industrial design. Mechanical engineering and design. Nova Product Design provides experienced design for parts and assemblies, manufacturing, assembly, and serviceability. From plastic parts to sheet metal forming, mold and tool design, injection molding, and more. Nova Product Design. Visit novaproductdesign.com to learn more. So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. No problem. All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff. The Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes.
This is Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. It's a special pre-game edition of the Tampa Bay Lightning Power Play Network in advance of game number 1 between the New Jersey Devils and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Puck drop shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The rest of the first round series all get going on Thursday, in addition to the New Jersey Devils in Tampa Bay to take on the Lightning. It's the Maple Leafs in Boston to take on the Bruins, also a 7 p.m. start. Columbus Blue Jackets in Washington, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Colorado Avalanche, who got into the postseason in dramatic fashion, in Nashville to take on the Predators, the Western Conference champions, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Haven't seen anything. I've been looking because they did such a cool job with it last year. Who's singing the anthem in Nashville? I haven't heard any rumors, haven't seen any speculation, not sure. They have promised a pretty cool pregame show. I expect the Lightning will have one as well, but I'm curious as to see who's going to be singing the anthem on opening night in Nashville. The late game, the battle of the two California teams, Southern Cal versus Northern Cal. It's San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks. Boy, what a series that could be. That could be a pick'em series. We'll have a little bit more on these series coming up, and also want to touch on some other things from night number 1 on the Stanley Cup playoffs on Wednesday with the 3 games that took place. We're talking about Philly and Pittsburgh. I think that game could resemble Tampa and New Jersey, and Tampa wins big in game number 1. I know the record of Tampa in first games of playoff series. It's not great. It could be very different tonight. We'll have to see. This is why we look forward to the playoffs so much. In the game between the Winnipeg Jets hosting the Minnesota Wild out west, Winnipeg, oh yeah, the place was jumping, everybody excited, but the Minnesota Wild missed a real opportunity to steal that game. They could have stolen game number 1. Wasn't sure they were up to it. I thought LA might be able to steal game number 1. I didn't think Minnesota would, but Minnesota missed an opportunity. I'm not sure how many people are talking about this today because there's a lot of focus on the Jets who won their first ever playoff game. They've been swept in 3 previous series as Jets Thrashers. They got a victory, but this game was up for grabs in the late stages. And Winnipeg is fortunate to have a 1-0 series lead over the Minnesota Wild. They could have easily gone the other way and Minnesota been up 1-0. And then there would have been a lot of nervous nail biting by Winnipeg Jets fans. That was scoreless late into the second period. Minnesota was playing well. Winnipeg jumped out. Of course, you would expect that with the atmosphere of the building. But I think they tried a bit too hard, did the Minnesota Wild, to match the physical play of the Jets. The Wild had a penalty called on them that they didn't like. Nate Prosser was in the box. Mark Scheifele, thank you very much. Great fee. Bang, it's in the back of the net. Still, Minnesota didn't sulk. And in the third period, before it was 4 minutes old, they took the lead. They were up 2-1 on the Winnipeg Jets in the third period. And I think they sort of went, hey, this is pretty good, because it only took a few seconds and Patrick Laine demonstrated what a good shot he has and whipped it into the net. Still, you're the Minnesota Wild. You're on the road in this difficult building and environment to play in, and you're tied at 2 apiece in the third period, into the second half of the third period. You're in good shape. until a Joe Morris shot gets tipped by one of the Wild defenders in front, and it's just enough to squeeze through the legs of Devin Dubnyk, who played awesome, by the way. He was one of the reasons that the Minnesota Wild were in this game. And when that puck went in to make it 3-2 for the Winnipeg Jets, there was a great shot of Minnesota coach Bruce Boudreau after it went in. He let out a rather graphic display of frustration, we'll say. He knew that the Wild had made some mistakes, but they're in it. They got a chance. Even at 2 apiece, getting to the late stages, they got a chance. But that goal went in, and you just knew it. They had an opportunity to win that game, to take a 1-0 series lead on the road in game number 1, and they've let it get away. Game 2 of this series is going to be really interesting. And the other one, as I mentioned, the game between the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights, I thought LA might have an opportunity to win this game. I keep waiting for the clock to strike midnight with the Vegas Golden Knights. I have at different points of the season. Hasn't gotten there completely yet. Might be close, but it's not quite there yet. They are the darlings of the NHL because of their inaugural season success. It's been an amazing year. Won the Pacific Division. They've got home ice advantage against the LA Kings. And what an event. They had a great opening to their game. The Golden Knight coming out on the ice and slaying the representative of the Kings who's carrying and waving the LA flag around. It's a real Vegas-style show. It was pretty cool. It was very dramatic. It was very Las Vegas. Now, I hope you've seen it and you know what I mean, but it was really cool. It's been all over social media and you can check it out. It was a really cool opening. It wasn't very long, but just real drama. It makes me wonder, though. So if Vegas goes on and wins this series with the LA Kings, they'll have home ice advantage. And what happens in the next round? Do they bring out a duck or a shark out onto the ice and have the Golden Knight with his sword? And I'm just not sure what happens at that point. If you were a little late getting to this game, you missed all the scoring, by the way, too. 1 goal. In, that's it. Shea Theodore, shot, gets by Jonathan Quick. Both goaltenders, both Quick and Marc-Andre Fleury for the Vegas Golden Knights were really good in this game. Real physical game, better than 120 hits dished out between the two teams. And the one that is getting a lot of focus is, of course, a hit by LA Kings defenseman Drew Doughty on Vegas forward William Carrier. And I'm going to call him Carrier because he's from Montreal. I've heard Carrier and Carrier. This is the hit that is getting attention and has Drew Doughty scheduled for a hearing with the Department of Player Safety on Thursday afternoon. Doughty came across the ice. I should preface this as well. Drew Doughty was getting a lot of attention, and understandably so, from the Vegas Golden Knights. Carrier gave him a whack in the foot, and he was getting a lot of attention and getting hit and run at every opportunity. So later in the game, Doughty comes across the ice and has lots of body contact with Carrier, but laid him out with a huge hit. Carrier left the game, did not return, went into the concussion protocol. Haven't heard an update on how serious the injury may be at this point. There was no penalty called on the play by referees Eric Furlat and Kelly Sutherland, 2 experienced referees. Now, there is a provision in the NHL rules for physical engagement, for body contact, and if there is head contact that is deemed to be incidental after the body is contacted, it can still be a legal hit. As I said, there was no penalty called on the play. I have scoured and looked at every replay available. And reading the rule, watching the video, and looking at it numerous times, regular speed, slow motion, I don't think there should be further discipline. Now, I'll reserve right to change my mind if I see a different angle that offers me something different. There is contact with Carrier's head. But, as mentioned, there is significant body impact. Drew Doughty is not lining him up and taking a headshot. He is trying to inflict a significant and hard body check. He's not going headhunting. From what I have seen, This is not worthy of suspension. However, we'll wait and see what occurs. We'll wait and see what additional video there might be. But this could be an interesting and significant turning point in this series and in terms of discipline moving forward in the National Hockey League playoffs. What if Doughty does get suspended for a game? Maybe there is something that we see from a different angle that I haven't been able to access yet that shows, yes, there was contact with the head before the body. Well, then it is deserving of a suspension. It's an opportunity to send a message, which I also dislike. This sending a message nonsense. It's ridiculous. If it's an infraction, penalize it. If it's not, it's close, but if it's not, you got to let it go. I have seen hits like this through the season. No suspension or further discipline was issued. I'm anxious to see what happens with this one. I am really curious to see what happens with this one. But Drew Doughty will have a hearing with the Department of Player Safety. We'll find out what the ruling is, and we'll see whether or not he's going to be in the lineup for game number 2 between the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights, which comes up later on this week. We'll touch on the other series that are taking place in the National Hockey League, 4 others, plus the game between the New Jersey Devils and the Tampa Bay Lightning. We will run through the projected starting lineups of the Devils and the Lightning coming up. That, and we'll give you a couple of interesting notes on the other series as well. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles. Back with our final segment right after the break.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now it's even easier to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Send us a photo on Twitter or now on Instagram with the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We choose a winner every Saturday. That's simple. Now on Instagram or Twitter, send us the photo using the hashtag HU Dog of the Day, and your dog could be the one added to our gallery on the website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Cutting-edge design for manufacturing, Nova Product Design. Industrial design, mechanical engineering and design. Nova Product Design provides experienced design for parts and assemblies, manufacturing, assembly, and serviceability. From plastic parts to sheet metal forming, mold and tool design, injection molding, and more. Nova Product Design. Visit novaproductdesign.com to learn more. So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. No problem. All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff. The Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes.
Welcome back. This is Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. It's a special pregame edition on the Tampa Bay Lightning Power Play Network in advance of game number 1 of the first round series between the Devils and the Tampa Bay Lightning. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, Twitter and Instagram handles. Follow us. Todd at hockeyunfiltered.com is the email. We'll run through the lineups for the New Jersey Devils and the Tampa Bay Lightning, the projected lineups. I guess they aren't technically official until they're submitted. I want to touch on the other games that are going on this evening as well. Toronto at Boston, game number 1 of that series. This will be a good series as well. Leafs won 3 of the 4 games during the regular season. This is going to be a real close series as I see it. There could be a lot of overtime in this series. How are the big lines going to stack up against one another? I think that could be really an interesting matchup. The goaltending as well, because I think Freddie Anderson is capable of stealing a game. And if you can steal a game, it might steal you more than just the game. It might steal you a series. Columbus Blue Jackets in Washington to take on the Capitals. Caps won 3 of 4, the head-to-head matchups during the regular season. It's a different kind of Capitals team, not with the expectation that they've had the last couple of seasons, but still pretty good. Score some goals. Going to be different because Philip Grubauer is going to be the starting goaltender in game number 1. Columbus Blue Jackets look like they'll get Captain Nick Foligno back into their lineup for the start of this series. Columbus isn't going to face Pittsburgh, but it's still going to be a really tough test for the Blue Jackets in the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Can Sergei Bobrovsky play like Sergei Bobrovsky and really steal something? Going to be interesting. Going to be a fun series to watch as well. I like the Caps, though, in that one. The other series that get going, the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Nashville Predators. Preds won all 4 meetings. Colorado, oh, yeah, it was a nice story at the end of the season as they came from dead last in the NHL a season ago to make it back into the postseason with a huge improvement in points. A win in regulation on the final day of the regular season. Got them all they need. Semyon Varlamov out, done for the season. Jonathan Bernier's the guy. Eric Johnson is also out of the lineup for the Colorado Avalanche. The Preds, they are deep in riches. Eli Tolvanen is going to sit out. He'll be a healthy scratch for this game against the Nashville Predators. That's going to be interesting. They've got lots of talent. Got a taste of success going to the Stanley Cup final a year ago. How much more will they get this year? President's Trophy winners. It will be interesting. I expect the Nashville Predators will be able to dispose of the Colorado Avalanche without a lot of difficulty. But again, the Avalanche will give them all they've got. But the Preds, much like Tampa against the New Jersey Devils, they just get the check marks in every category, whether it's offensive talent, whether it's defense, whether it's goaltending, whether it's special teams. You give the check mark to the Nashville Predators. They deserve it. But good for Colorado to find their way into the postseason. And the other game that gets going, the late game, San Jose in Anaheim to take on the Ducks. This series could be a real grind. Ducks are the big, heavy team. San Jose doesn't have quite the same size. About 3 weeks ago, I said that San Jose was the sneaky team to watch out for them. They're worth paying attention to. Look at what the San Jose Sharks have been able to do this year. They lost Patrick Marleau last summer to free agency, and they played almost the entire second half of the season minus Joe Thornton. Wouldn't you know it, though, Joe Thornton has returned to practice for the San Jose Sharks. He will not play in game number 1. And, of course, they're making his status rather vague for game number 2 and beyond. But he's missed almost the second half of the season. He's going to have to work himself back into the lineup through a couple of practices, I would think, first. But the Anaheim Ducks all season long have been discussed as, if this team gets in, look out. They could be the team. Now, John Gibson was hurt down the stretch. Didn't seem to matter. Ryan Miller went in. The Ducks ripped off 5 straight victories to finish the season. Cam Fowler is going to be out for a little while longer, though, and that's difficult. This could be an important point in the Ducks and their future. If they don't get it done this year, a lot of their players are only getting older, whether it's Ryan Kessler, whether it's Corey Perry, but the new stars are starting to emerge for the Anaheim Ducks. And Ricky Raquel is something to watch if you haven't seen him. West Coast team, a lot of late starts, but they had a great call-up through the season as well. Andre Kasha came in, scored 20 goals. He just seemed to score big goals when they needed it, though. Sharks fell back from second on the final weekend of the regular season. It gives the Ducks home ice advantage. That might be the difference in this series. Home ice advantage might be the difference in this series, and the Ducks have it. We'll wait and see. We're getting set for the New Jersey Devils and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Game number 1 of this series gets going. Puck drop shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern time with the Devils in Tampa Bay at Amalie Arena. Here are the projected lineups for both teams. For the New Jersey Devils, forward lines featuring Hall, Heischer, and Palmieri. That's the big line. And if you can stop them, that gives you a great opportunity at victory. Coleman, Zajac, Nason on the second line. Wood, Zaka, Patrick Maroon on the third, and the fourth line will be Michael Grabner, Brian Boyle, and Brian Gibbons. Defense pairings for the New Jersey Devils, Green and Vatanen. That's the number one pair that's going to see an awful lot of ice time. Moore and Mueller, Butcher and Lovejoy are the projected lineup. And yes, Keith Kincaid in goal for the New Jersey Devils. First playoff game, he's been the guy who's helped lead them down the stretch and get them into the postseason. He's the guy that they're going to have to rely on. He will face the Tampa Bay lineup that looks like this, is projected to have quite the lineup. JT Miller, Steve Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov. That is a daunting first line. Palat, Point, and Johnson on your second line. Killorn, Cirelli, who's been sensational since he was recalled and has fit himself nicely into the lineup. Alongside on the wing would be Yanni Gourde. And the fourth line, Chris Kunitz, Cedric Paquette, and Ryan Callahan. Experience, good solid defense. It'll be good to watch. Hedman and Girardi, McDonough, Stralman, Coburn, and Sergachev, the projected defensive pairings, and Andrei Vasilevsky, who played 65 regular season games, will be in goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 65 regular season games with a record of 44, 17, and 3, a goals against of 2.62, and a save percentage of .920 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Don't freak out, but I'll remind you again of the stat that I mentioned a little bit earlier. Tampa Bay Lightning are not good in playoff openers. It's not a good number. However, they're at home. They'll be in front of an enthusiastic crowd. It'll be fun. It'll be an exciting environment. And they are a better team. However you want to stack it up, yes, of course, the Devils had the better penalty kill during the regular season. I'm not sure that that's going to be enough to help them during the postseason as well. But the Lightning don't have a good record in playoff openers. However, they have visited the Eastern Conference Final on a regular basis as well. It's going to be fun to watch. It's game number 1. We'll be back to do more pregame shows as this series moves along, and looking forward to more as the Lightning move along in the postseason. We'll be back next for another pregame edition of Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis in advance of game number 3 and game number 4 when the series shifts back to New Jersey and plays on the Prudential Center ice. It's going to be fun to watch. As mentioned, it's the balance of the playoff schedule that gets going on Thursday evening with Toronto and Boston, Columbus and Washington, Colorado is in Nashville, and the San Jose Sharks are in Anaheim. And we'll, of course, be around with our regular shows, Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, airing every Saturday and Sunday live beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time. All kinds of hockey talk. We'll be reviewing the games that take place, getting you set and lined up for all the action that is to go on any given night. Tampa Bay Lightning will play game number 2 in a Saturday afternoon game at Amalie Arena. But game number 1, set to go. Get to the building early. You want to be part of the pregame enthusiasm and the fun and the excitement and enjoy the ambiance and excitement of Stanley Cup playoffs. Wave the flags, listen to the cheers, listen to the anthem, get revved up. I still think it can be similar to how the Pittsburgh-Philly game went on Wednesday. We'll see if it does. We'll find out again. Looking forward to another pregame show on Monday in advance of game number 3. Enjoy game number 1 between the New Jersey Devils and Tampa Bay Lightning.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now it's even easier to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Send us a photo on Twitter or now on Instagram with the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We choose a winner every Saturday. That's simple. Now on Instagram or Twitter, send us the photo using the hashtag HU Dog of the Day, and your dog could be the one added to our gallery on the website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Cutting-edge design for manufacturing. Nova Product Design. Industrial design. Mechanical engineering and design. Nova Product Design provides experienced design for parts and assemblies, manufacturing, assembly, and serviceability. From plastic parts to sheet metal forming, mold and tool design, injection molding, and more. Nova Product Design. Visit novaproductdesign.com to learn more. So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. No problem. All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff, the Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes.